we'll delve deeply into one of the most bizarre tales in contemporary hip-hop, the ascent and decline of Tay-K, a teenage rapper who became well-known with the race while escaping the law. This is about a teenager pursuing a dream, making some difficult decisions, and suffering a great deal as a result. Tay-K's story is a wild journey of talent, tragedy, and controversy, spanning from viral fame to a 55-year prison sentence. Press the subscribe button and let's explore Tamer McIntyre's story. Tay-K, whose real name is Tamer Trayvon McIntyre, was born in Long Beach, California, on June 16, 2000. Picture a young child who is growing up in a difficult home where both his parents are members of the Crips gang. For a large portion of Tay's life, his father, Kevin Beverly, was incarcerated and was raised by his mother. In an attempt to start again, they relocated to Las Vegas when they were 8 years old. After his father was released from prison 2 years later, the family relocated to Arlington, Texas. Tay, however, used music as an escape. Inspired by icons such as Chief Keef, Eazy-E, and his own favorite, Soulja Boy, Tay began rapping at a young age in the hopes of becoming famous. In 2014, 14-year-old Tay-K formed the rap duo Daytona Boys with 2 other Arlington teenagers, Pimp Eyes and Santana Sage. On Christmas Day 2014, they released Drift, their debut song, on SoundCloud. Although it wasn't a financial success, it helped them get gigs at local events and generated some awareness in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. He released Biff Zanon, his debut solo song, on SoundCloud in November 2015. The rough, drill-like sound was what the locals began to recognize. Then, in March 2016, he released his Mega Man, and people's attention got truly drawn. With that rough sound and that careless demeanor, Tay-K was making a name for himself. However, his life was about to take a terrible turn just as his music was starting to gain popularity. That all changed in July of 2016. He became involved in a failed house invasion in Mansfield, Texas, when he was only 16 years old. Tay and 6 other people, including 2 girls named Megan Holt and Ariana Barrett, broke into the home of 21-year-old Ethan Walker with the goal of taking cash and drugs, according to court filings. The plan was straightforward: enter, steal the valuables, and then leave. However, something went wrong. Despite having his hands up, pleading for his life, Ethan was shot and died during the robbery. Tay was supposed to drop the money and drugs, but he was there even though he didn't shoot. He was charged with murder at only 16 years old. While prosecutors contemplated whether they should prosecute him as an adult, he was locked up in his home wearing an ankle monitor. Now confined to his house, a child who once dreamed of being a famous person was awaiting a hearing that could change his life forever. He was on the run after removing his ankle band on March 27, 2017. For 3 months, Tay escaped the authorities like a movie character. And while he was out there, he did something wild: he recorded the race. The race criticized the system when it was dropped on June 30, 2017, the same day that he was arrested by U.S. Marshals in Elizabeth, New Jersey. Tay was spitting bars, carrying a gun, and rapping on top of his own wanted poster. With more than 251 million views, the video went viral on YouTube. It achieved platinum status and peaked at number 44 on the Billboard Hot 100. A-list celebrities like Fetty Wap, Lil Yachty, and 21 Savage hopped on remixes after the Free Tay-K hashtag went popular. The race was an imaginary story of Tay's life, complete with transgressions, flight, and resistance. Things took a turn for the worst when Tay was evading arrest. He was implicated in another crime in San Antonio, Texas, in April 2017. Under the false pretense of setting up a photo session, prosecutors claim Tay and his group enticed photographer Mark Anthony Soldivo to a Chick-fil-A parking lot. Instead, they attempted to take his photography gear. Soldivo was killed as the crime escalated into violence. Testifying against Tay was his ex-girlfriend, who was the driver of the getaway vehicle. Then, in May 2017, Tay allegedly robbed and attacked Skip Pepe, a 65-year-old man in Arlington. Although it has been added to the list of charges against him, that case is still pending. In July 2017, his crew released his first mixtape, Santana World, while he was incarcerated at Tarrant County Jail. It received praise from critics for its unadulterated intensity and reached on the Billboard 200. A remix featuring 21 Savage and Young Nudy was included in the December 2017 re-release on 88 Classic and RCA Records of the Race. Tay also got featured on No Jumpers Hard with Blockboy JB, which charted too. The truth is that Tay's record deal brought in between $600,000 and $700,000. But all that money couldn't buy freedom. Tay-K was put on trial in July 2019 for the murder of Ethan Walker. Throughout the trial, The Race was played by the prosecution, who used the song and the video as proof against him. Tay was convicted on 3 charges of aggravated robbery and murder. The penalty was $21,000 in fine and 55 years in prison. In November 2019, Tay was charged with Mark Soldivo's murder in San Antonio. In April 2025, the trial commenced. Tay's sister gave disturbing details about their mistreatment as children, and his lawyer contended that the police had relied on dubious eyewitness testimonies. However, he was spared a mandatory life sentence on April 14, 2025, when the jury found him guilty of murder rather than capital murder. He was sentenced to 55 years in prison and given 80 years to run concurrently the next day. The families of the victims are suing him for the money made from his music, and he will now serve some time in prison. The story of Tay-K is complex. Some see him as a wasted talent, a star who blew his life, while others see him as a child who never had a chance and a victim of a broken system. Although it sealed his fate, The Race catapulted him to fame. It serves as a reminder that even in the most unlikely places, brilliance can shine and that a single mistake can have a profound impact. Was he a victim of his circumstances? Leave your thoughts in the comment section.